welcome to the Cinema Clubhouse podcast.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
Thanks for being here, Will. What is the Cinema Clubhouse podcast, Will?
Cinema Clubhouse podcast. Well, we do a lot of things here. We're primarily a movie podcast. We talk recasting movies. We might fix a movie. Today, we're giving our top 5 of best opening sequences.
Best opening sequences in movies. This is important, right? The opening scene of a movie is pretty important, I think. It can make or break if you want to continue the journey or bail out, quickly. So
I've built up to a lot of openings.
yeah, there's some openings. I'm like, yep, this is as good as it's gonna get, and it wasn't that good. So
yeah, we figured it'd be a good one to start with. We'll probably be doing a lot of lists.
Yeah, a lot of
on
different
this
lists.
channel, but
yeah,
why not start at the opening of the movie? We'll kind of work our way
opening
through
of the
right?
movie. Yes, but before we get into the list, I think we should start at some openings that didn't make either of our lists.
I agree.
Okay.
I had a lot of them.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
I had a few. This was actually harder to come up with than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, top 5 openings, easy. Like you might have 2, but then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
How does that movie start, right? You're like, I love this movie, but how does it start? And you're like,
Had to do some rewatch.
yeah. I was like, man, that opening was not good.
Yeah.
So okay. Do you want to go first? I go first. You go first.
Yeah, I can give off some. Like I said, I had a lot. There's even more honorable mentions that I'll talk about, but I'll just give a few that come to the top of mind. Some of these might be on your list, so I don't want to go too deep into them in case.
I'll try not to make a face.
Okay. I'm reading you.
Yeah.
First one that comes to mind. So I tried to. I think basically all of my top 5 that I have in my list are true beginnings to the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't start in the middle and then come back to it.
Yeah.
It's not a prologue or, something like that. It's truly like the start of the movie.
Yeah.
So some honorable mentions. One for me would be Mission Impossible 3. That one
is a good one.
Mission Impossible. I think all their, they know how to do a great opening scene.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the one that takes the cake is Mission Impossible 3 because it just puts you right in the thick of it.
Yep.
Shows you how menacing, Philip Seymour Hoffman's villain is going to be.
Yeah, and you're like you said, you're right in it. Like there's no hiding behind what they're about to go against. It just really is a good one.
Yeah.
See that again. Now that I think of it, should I take one of these out and put that in the list? That's a good one.
It's your prerogative. We haven't talked that much about it.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, I love that one. It's just I love a good intro to a villain. Like it shows you the movie's not messing around. Like you just get right into it, and then
for sure,
credits hit. Mission Impossible theme song. Can't beat it.
The Mission Impossibles do have a great opening sequence, and
I can't think of a bad one.
Yeah, no, they're all fun. They're all good, and they really set the tone for that particular movie, and kind of what Ethan's going to come against in that movie.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I think one that I wanted on my list, it just got pushed out, was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Interesting.
It's a great opening.
It is a great opening.
It's a great opening. It didn't make my list, but
so close.
Very close. Very close.
I'll say it's close to making my list as well.
It's a good one. It's just, for me, I think it's too long to get into the cave for it. Like if it would have just started right when they went in, and less, there's just too much before they go in that I'm like, that's why it's not on my list, but it was close.
Yeah, it's
super
good.
Close.
It was one of the first ones that came to mind before I even started digging in.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the most iconic openings.
Yeah,
if not the most, and it didn't make either of our lists.
Well, it's we may or may not be talking more indie.
We may or may not be.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, pretty much all mine are like from the beginning openings. They aren't like in the middle. But another opening that I love is Terminator 2. It just like it gives you another great shot of the the future war.
Yep.
Kind of really gives you the first glimpse of John Connor.
Yep.
Kind of puts you back into the mindset that you had from the first one.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just I include like the opening title sequences as part of that opening too, because like you get just like the whole place in flames. You got in my opinion, the best version of the Terminator theme song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it just gets you, puts you right in the mood for the movie, and yeah, I love that one.
That's a good one. That one is. It's also iconic because it gives you the glimpse of what happens, like, for the first time, and it's like
it shows you what's at stake.
Geez, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one. We talked about this earlier. It didn't make my list. Well, one, because I didn't fully remember it, but Jaws, has a great one that's really sets the tone for the whole film, and I think it didn't make my list because I haven't seen it enough.
Yeah.
But I do remember watching that and being terrified and like, oh,
yeah,
I'm out. It's because it was the fear of the unknown. It was all unknown, right?
Yeah.
You just like in it. You don't know what happened. You know something bad happened, and that's it.
I know a lot of people will tap out right out of that.
Yeah, you're like, nah, this isn't for me.
I'm good. Sharks, I get it. No,
Yeah.
I'm out. Yeah. No, that was another one. Was an honorable mention of mine too. The last honorable mention I will give is kind of reminiscent of another opening that's going to be on my list. Just kind of the villain introduction. I really love a good villain introduction.
Yeah.
And one of the first ones that come to mind for that is Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
You know, that scene is just, it's all dialogue, but you're terrified just at the way he carries himself, just how, like, just based on that family and how they're reacting to him, like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
And it just, sets the tone. From that scene on, it's like you want that guy to get got.
Yeah, you're like, please don't let him get what he's trying to get. Yeah, that is a good one. That one I struggled with a lot.
Yeah.
Putting it on or not putting it on.
Yeah. I know you're wearing your Quentin Tarantino.
I am. I think that was going to be my honorable mention. I don't think it made the list.
Yeah.
But it was close.
What do you mean you don't think? You don't have your list?
Well, it could change before we finish this podcast. It could. Well, now when I say my list out loud, I'm like, man.
Buyer's remorse.
A little bit. But, I mean, it's the ones I enjoyed the most. So it's not necessarily the most impactful.
Yeah.
It's just the ones
I
put together. Hold dear.
I put together a list of probably like 30 of them.
Yeah.
And any given day, my top 5 could be
they could shift.
All off.
No, but Inglourious Bastards does have a great opening that I sometimes bow out after. Because the movie is it's a kind of a slow burn to watch. But the opening is just everything you need to know about the movie set up.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying, and it's just like, ugh. Like, I don't want to deal with this guy. And I don't want any characters I care about to deal with this guy either. Yeah. And that it's pretty powerful. All right, those are good. Those are good. I think it's time to get into the meat of our list.
I agree.
Our top 5 opening movie sequences, at least to us, of all time. And we are right. So
we're always right.
We're always right. That's why you're here, because you want to know what's right.
Exactly.
All right, Will, you want to start at your number 5 slot?
I will start. Now, we were talking before this ranking these was really hard because I go back and forth.
Yeah.
That could be pretty much in any order, but you made me rank them, and so here's where we sit.
Okay.
My number 5, I feel, is there's no chance at all it would make your list.
We'll see. Will.
I don't think anyone even really like thinks of this as like the great opening scenes of all time, but for me, I love it. I also tried to kind of mix my genres up a little bit on my list. And so this one's a comedy.
Okay.
The comedy is called Super Troopers.
Super Troopers.
Now, this is a movie. I think the opening scene of this movie is basically makes the entire movie. But the whole movie is funny. It's my favorite from the Broken Lizard crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just all-time classic comedy opening for me. It
is a classic. I need to rewatch it. Yeah. Now, I think what this list is going to do is have us go rewatch some of these tonight.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Definitely not on my list.
Yeah.
That'd be the crossover.
Yeah, that would be amazing if that was the crossover. But yeah, it's just so there's so many quotable lines from the the
Yeah.
snozberries taste like snozberries, or I pulled over, I can't pull over any farther.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it just sets the tone for the whole movie and the shenanigans you're about to get into. And
Yeah.
honestly, for me, it might be the best comedy opening of all
Yeah,
time.
it's super solid, and like you said, it sets you up for the ride you're about to be on.
Yeah,
And that's what an opening should do.
literally.
It should, yeah, for real. All right, solid spot. I wanted mine to be more diverse than they are, but they're just not. I mean, they're what they are.
It's your list.
It's my list. That's right. No one can take it from me. It's mine. You could disagree, but that's okay.
I probably will.
You probably will.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 5 slot, I may or may not have decided 15 minutes before we started this.
Gasp.
Well, like you said, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to make a list. Like you could just talk about
Mhm.
the opening sequences you love, but when you're like, let's list them out,
Yeah.
that's where it gets tough. But mine is just always stuck with me since I was a kid, and I thought it was crazy, and I thought this actually happened. And then when it, revealed it didn't, I was like, what? But my number 5 is Toy Story 2.
Oh,
The opening Toy Story 2 when
it
Zurg kills
actually
Buzz,
happened.
right?
Oh yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Like in the context of the movie.
and
it
he's
actually
just Rex is just playing the game.
happened. Yeah.
But it's so cinematic. It has all those Spielberg feeling moments. I mean, purposely, that's what they did that for. But
Yeah.
as a kid, I thought you got to see Buzz like cool and an actual, not a toy. And
Yeah.
it kind of blew my mind because I was like, oh, and then he died. And I was like, yeah, this movie sucks.
Then they pull the wool off.
Then they pull it off and you realize it's not real. But it really, it took a character and made him cooler than he was for the first time.
Yeah.
And so me as a kid has always stuck with me. And I absolutely love it.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I should have guessed there'd be a Pixar movie on your list.
You should have. You should have, Will.
Are
But
there more?
No.
Okay.
there's not.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh,
There's not.
okay.
No, the Toy Story 2 has a great opening. And it sets up the character in a new light.
Yeah.
That was the first one. My parents might have taken me to see Toy Story, but I was too little to like fully remember.
Right.
But I do remember going to see that in the theaters,
Yeah.
and that moment was like, shocking.
Poor little toddler Travis.
Baby Travis just broken that Buzz is defeated so easily. Well, and it gave him a villain, right? It was cool.
Yeah.
You saw Zurg. That was sweet. It was cool.
That's funny. We're both starting out with some random ones.
Very random. Yeah.
I don't think either of these make anyone's like best openings of all time list
Never.
that I've seen.
Like if there's another podcast or another list that has either of these on it,
Yeah.
you stole that. There's no way.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna start getting into more of the common ones, but we'll see, I guess.
See, Will.
What is your number 4?
All right. So my number 4 is one that might get hate,
Okay.
but I love it.
I'm prepared to hate.
Okay, you're prepared to hate it.
Yeah.
This is from a filmmaker that I love a lot. The filmmaker is Christopher Nolan,
Okay.
and the opening to Tenet.
Okay.
I love the opera siege. I love that whole thing. It feels, I don't know, it feels very Nolan, but also more grounded
Yeah.
than, some of the other ones. But I love that whole thing. How there's really no talking and you're just in it, right? They show up, they're in it. They got to go get this guy. They got to go get this package.
Yeah.
And then
It might have been the last time I knew what was going on in that movie.
that's right.
The last time
The
I
first
understood.
and only time you knew what was happening. And you're still weren't quite sure what happened.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I just love the opening. I love the scale of it, the craziness of it in the opera house.
Yeah.
They start shooting at the people they're trying to get and just like hitting
Yeah.
civil. That's crazy. It's a crazy moment, but I love that opening.
Yeah, it is a cool opening. I will give you that. It's it puts you in the middle of the action. You're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And that feeling only continued once you got past that scene.
That's right. It never resolved. You still never quite knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But a lot of haters on that movie. I love that movie. It is very hard to wrap your head around, but I think what I love more about it is the Robert Pattinson and John David Washington.
Yeah, they had good chemistry.
I loved that. So
Yeah,
so that's my number 4.
it's one.
Definitely won't be on anybody else's list either.
I don't think so. I was expecting Nolan from you. I don't think I was expecting that one. It was good.
Yeah.
That's one that I need to revisit because I, again, don't understand.
Well, and I think it was the
movie.
first movie I saw in theaters after COVID. So I was so excited to be in the movie theater again. So
anything was going to be good.
So yeah, I think that's also a reason it stuck with me is because it was the first.
Yeah.
We're back to somewhat normal, and I can see a movie in theaters.
The theater experience can determine the whole.
Yeah, like if I were to watch that streaming, I don't even think I would think twice about it. As oh cool, but it was like we're back moment. So I think that's more what it is.
Yeah.
Than the actual scene itself.
Chris would love to hear you say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. All right, Will.
Number 4.
You're number 4.
Well, I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
Okay.
I said we'd be talking more indie.
Yep.
And the common places to go with Raiders, and I can't really argue that. Honestly, I went back and forth, but I went with Last Crusade.
So good.
So
good.
It's my favorite indie of the original trilogy.
Yep.
And I just, as good as Raiders is, I feel like Last Crusade really sets the tone for like what should have been the send off.
Yeah, no, it is the look back so we can close the chapter.
Yeah.
And that one I struggled with.
Yeah.
Because I've always loved that scene.
Yeah.
And the transition.
Oh, I love the transition.
Is so good.
I love a good transition.
I'm a sucker for a good match cut that just so good.
So good. But I mean the whole scene is just like that is the way you do the Easter egg, the kind of the fan service.
Yeah.
Like I think about a movie like Solo, and I know we're not here to talk about and bash other movies, but that one just made me groan the entire time every time they would reveal how he got his name and how he got his, and I feel like Last Crusade really does it the right way. Like you really, through oh god, I can't think of the actor's name. River Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Through River Phoenix's performance, like you believe him as a young
and
indie.
It didn't feel like let's please the fans.
Yeah.
That it was just well written, and this is who Indy is and this is why he is.
Yeah, you understand the perseverance, like his.
Well, and it sets up the relationship with the father, with his dad, like also subtly, but like
you didn't realize
it just sprinkles it in, and like I feel like movies are not as good at that, especially in like a trilogy or a new installment of it, hitting those moments that like service the fans and like this is good, but like also is like we didn't do that for you, we did it because that's who the character is and that's why you like it. That's that's why it's better to you. But that
so good.
That one probably should go where Tenet is in mine as well, but
you can't have
like I said
mine.
No, I know, but like I said, I think it was more what Tenet did for my feeling, but it's a good one.
That's good.
And his fear of snakes gets on everything. It's like everything about it. This is how it happened.
Feels organic.
It happened in this moment.
Yeah, this is when he became Indiana Jones.
Right. So good.
When that guy told him like you lost today, you don't have to like it. That's so good. That sums up Indy. He's he's not he failed, not that he fails his way to the top, but like he gets bumps and bruises along the way.
Well, it's not pretty.
Nothing is pretty. Yeah. But he's determined. He finds a way. It was because of that scene.
And then he does get it.
And then he does. Yeah.
So good.
30 years later.
And then he models his whole life after that guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
The guy met once.
I like your jacket.
I mean, you have a look. I'm going to take it.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
That's good. That's good. All right, Will. You're number 3 now.
My number 3. Well, I mentioned before, I love an opening that gives you the introduction to a terrifying villain.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned the ones before, did that great.
Yep.
Any other day they might make this list as well, but I feel like no other scene does that better than the opening of The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
To me, Joker greatest movie villain of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah, it's just one of those, like, you get, that IMAX opening,
Yep.
bank robbery. You're trying to figure out
Yeah.
what the heck, who are these guys? What the heck is going on? Just all this chaos.
Everybody's
going on.
hearing something from the other person, and the villain is just sprinkled in.
Yeah.
And again, a surprise that he's there. Right.
Yeah.
And
it's one you don't necessarily, like, you're not shocked, like you're expecting it to come, like,
yeah.
going in, like, this is gonna be the Joker.
Yeah.
But the way it's kind of executed,
the reveal of it.
love the reveal. Just has all the henchmen just take each other out.
Yeah, just chaos. It's just there's no order, there's no rules.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. And yeah,
this is a villain that you can't defeat.
that's right. You gotta be honest.
He doesn't care.
My number 3 is also The Dark Knight.
Number 3 too?
Yes.
Oh,
see,
man.
if I took Tenet out, we'd have 4 and 3 exactly the same.
Wow.
So this podcast would have no variety.
I know.
No, number 3 is The Dark Knight for me as well.
Can I admit something?
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be on your list.
Of course it was. Yeah. No shocker there. Yeah, no, the Dark Knight opening is so good. And it just it grounds Batman in a reality that exists.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. Yeah, Chicago, crime, bank robberies. No, but it feels like he's up against not like a guy with superpowers or anything.
Yeah.
Like, he's just up against a psycho.
Yeah.
And a guy that just wants to see the world burn.
Yeah.
And it's such a iconic and beautiful opening scene. Of course, it's on my list.
Yeah.
Like,
just everything from the way it's shot to the chaos.
yeah, the cuts, everything is perfect. How it just leads the next person talking about the next person talking. Well, I heard it from this guy.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
And then you can't peak Nolan right there. I mean,
I agree.
It's his best movie, I think.
It's in the conversation.
Yeah, like that's the one to me that should have won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Over Oppenheimer.
Well,
but
it's the reason that they have 10 nominees now.
Yeah, no, it was the best movie that year. Like,
I had to look at all the ones that came out.
You don't need to look.
Okay, that's fair. I agree.
No, but yes. So we share the same number 3, which is crazy. It's the same spot.
That's crazy.
And legit, Last Crusade was almost 4 for me. That's like funny. So close. Like, just
from almost 4 to off the list.
It's because I knew these other 2 had to be on the list, and my 1 and 2 has been locked in.
Gotcha.
So that's why.
Man, I can't wait to get there.
Yeah. Well, it may not be as good as your opening, but we'll try. Top 2, Will.
Top 2.
The
cream of the crop.
That's it. This is it. This is our best.
Definitive.
No other truth but this. All right. Number 2 was not. I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Number 2 was
please,
because it's been in my top favorite opening scenes for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic to me, maybe not to you or others, but my number 2 opening scene is X2.
That's good.
That's good.
A good one.
It's a good one. The introduction to Nightcrawler was unbelievably awesome when I saw it for the first time.
It could be the best comic book movie opening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have Dark Knight higher, but
it's super good.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what's going on, and then it's just chaos.
Yeah.
Pure chaos, and then pure like fear of like, oh my God. And then it just starts, and you're just like, damn. Especially coming off of X1, like,
yeah,
it's such a cool way to introduce one of the new characters in the, like.
Yeah, this is a new kind of X-Men movie. Like the first one set the stage. Now we've got all the tools in our tool belt. Like,
and it just,
we know people actually want to see these things.
That's right, and it was just so much cooler than I thought it. Like, it made Nightcrawler so much cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of like in the cartoon. He's cool, but not like. I mean.
Yeah.
not like that. Like that just made it real. Like I felt like I felt like it actually happened. And I just remember the crowd opening night
Just go
on May
nuts.
2nd,
Yeah.
2004. I was there after seeing Lizzie McGuire movie right before.
Oh,
Double feature.
what a double feature.
A double feature I could never live without.
One day we'll have to put a list together of the craziest double features.
Yeah, double features. Yeah, that definitely was a weird one.
Yeah, to say the least. That's crazy because, you know, especially if you don't know the comics or know the the animated show, like,
Right.
You think this is like the new villain, like
Right. Yeah, yeah. You're just like, what the heck?
this is another one of those where we talked about earlier, where like paired with the end of the movie,
Yeah.
it's kind of a nice
Yeah.
bookend. You know,
Yeah.
you have your
Yep.
chaos where it's like I'm kind of siding with the humans here.
Right.
What
You're
do
like, yeah,
what do
I
you do
get
about
it.
a
I
guy
get
like
it. We got to
this?
stop this. And then we saved you from this. So this
Yeah.
is why you should listen to us. And
Yeah.
it is a good. All right, Will, you're number two.
So gave you a comedy.
Yeah.
Then we went to adventure.
Yep.
Then I gave a comic book movie myself.
Yes.
We had the same number three.
Same number three.
Let's delve into horror.
Okay.
You know, you mentioned Jaws earlier. That was one that was kind of swimming around.
Yeah.
You like
I
that?
like what you did.
So subtle. But there's a lot of great horror openings. A lot that I was considering. You have your Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jordan Peele does great openings.
He does.
Even better might be Us.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
That's a great opening.
It is a great opening.
The opening I went with potentially might be the most iconic horror opening scene of all time, at least in my opinion, and that is the original Scream. That one,
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. I thought my list was pretty diverse, but I think I just like the introduction of the villain.
Who they're gonna be against.
Yeah, who's the main antagonist of the movie. But yeah, that one just, it sets the tone for what that whole series is. You know,
Yeah.
it's, you know, you're getting into something playful. You know,
Yeah.
Do you like scary movies?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're introduced to who you think is going to be like the final girl
Right.
of the movie.
Right.
Like, I don't remember completely, but I feel like she was maybe advertised to be that. There's so much, you know that this conversation is not going to end well,
Right.
but it just goes on so long.
Yeah. It just keeps going. It just doesn't stop when you think it's gonna stop.
And when it finally is revealed what's going on, you know, you see the boyfriend tied up outside.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, you think Drew Barrymore is going to be the final girl,
Yeah.
and just gets butchered
Yeah.
in the front yard.
Yeah.
Like, heartbreaking scene as her parents are like pulling up in the driveway. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, gives you all those
And
like glimmers.
Rather shocking.
Yeah.
like-
Brutal murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that one just like punches you right in the chest.
Yeah. That's a good one. Your list is definitely very more diverse than mine. I feel like mine are all similar type of openings. And
I mean, we just realized mine is kind of
yeah, kind of
similar to
but yeah, it's a shocking opening. That kind of like what is this that we're about to journey into? That's a good one. Some people might bow out after that opening.
Yeah.
Like, oh, never mind.
Not me, I'm in.
I'm in. I will. This
Number
is it.
2. Oh no, we're at number 1.
We're
You
at
just
number
gave your
1.
number 2.
Number 2's
Where's my head at?
Still
Yeah.
number 2.
That's 2.
All right, number 1.
I go first.
You go first.
All right. This is one, believe it or not, was the final addition to my top 5.
Man, a woman.
I know. Went from maybe makes the list, maybe not, to number 1. The more I thought about it, it was like, no, I think this is it.
Yeah, yeah.
This happens to be one of my favorite movies. Not the most original to have as your favorite movie of a person of my age and demographic. The first Matrix movie. Opening scene. It just iconic.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what cements like these movies on my list. Like they're all, Super Troopers aside, are all just iconic opening scenes.
Yes.
And you know, when you think of the first Matrix, you know, you think of bullet time in the lobby.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you think of the red pill, blue pill.
Yep.
First scene. Like, I appreciate more than anything is just setting up a mystery. Like,
Yeah.
this scene, you don't know what the heck is
Yeah.
going on.
Who's good, who's bad, what's happening.
And like the mystery was part of the promotional campaign too.
Right.
Like, what is the Matrix?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is the
Let's
Matrix?
go find out. Yeah.
The first scene doesn't answer any of those questions. Just gives you more questions.
More questions.
But, you know, another great intro to who winds up being the villains of the movie.
Yep.
You know.
There you go. Will loves the villains.
I love the villains. I don't know.
They're misunderstood, Will. Okay.
I don't think any of them are misunderstood. but no, you get, you know, the cops show up, you know, what's going on. Agents show up. Like, we got her surrounded.
Yep.
Your men are already dead.
Yep.
Like, what?
I'm sorry.
Why?
One more time.
Are we dealing with a superhero movie?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
was that what this is?
You know, and that was it. Also, I like openings that don't answer questions that you had, but intrigue you enough to find out. And
yeah,
you know, movies can do two things. Well, they can do more than two things, but that's where my mind landed on two things.
No, it's just two.
It's just two things.
Yeah.
They either intrigue you or excite you, and that's it. And
Yeah.
then you decide, am I gonna? And you know,
This
the
is
intriguing
both.
ones. It does both. It does
Yeah.
both. You know, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Wasn't on my list. It's probably because I need to rewatch The Matrix, at least that one.
Yeah.
That I don't remember it enough to be like where it stands out. And I think I saw The Matrix late,
Yeah.
real late, and so it was that expectation.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies, but the first time I ever saw it, I fell asleep.
Well, sometimes that
figure,
happens. Go
right?
figure.
But no, I mean,
Subconsciously, you were awake.
subconscious.
You knew.
Maybe I was just, you know, jacking back into the Matrix.
Maybe you got
I don't
unplugged.
know. Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe I got unplugged.
Like, oh, plug him back in. No, that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
You get introduced to, you know, Trinity. You get the crazy scene in the room where she just takes apart
Yeah.
those cops,
Yeah.
running on walls. Like,
Yeah. What is
going
this? Yeah.
on?
When it really made you say, like, what is this movie?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was something else, and now it's
Yeah.
definitely not any of these things I thought.
No.
Yeah.
Like, what is a Matrix?
Yeah.
I don't know what a
I don't
Matrix
know, but
is.
the run on the walls, and I'm excited. This
Yeah.
is cool.
Show me more.
Yeah. Keep going.
And then it ends with disappearing into the phone booth. Like,
What? Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy movie.
It's
All
my
right.
number one.
That's a good
Matrix
one.
opening scene.
That's a good one. All right. If you know me, my number one is obvious, but it's awesome. It's so good. It's my favorite opening, and it has been since the day I saw it. And I don't know if it'll ever be rivaled.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the opening of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay.
I went a different route than you thought, huh?
You might have.
Okay. Revenge of the Sith opening. It's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos, pure chaos. You're following two Jedi Star Destroyers heading to somewhere. We don't know. And it's a beautiful, it's all beautiful as things are exploding and they're weaving in and out. And then it, you know, pans in and it's Anakin and Obi-Wan and you're in the movie.
Yeah.
And it just has always, like, since the day I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's how you start a Star Wars movie.
I feel so stupid that I didn't think a Star Wars movie would be on your list. That should have.
If you know me,
that should have been obvious.
Should have been obvious. What now? Now I need to know what you thought. What
You know,
was gonna be my number one.
I purposely. Are we going to go into some other
Sure.
ones here? You done talking?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You have the
I'm
floor
good.
for your
Nope.
number one.
I mean, I said everything I need to say. It's awesome.
I was convinced that you would have the opening to Jurassic Park on your list. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Also, if you know me, you would think Jurassic Park as well. But I don't think it's as strong as the other parts of that movie.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pretty great though.
It is great.
It almost made my list.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh no, it was
I
up for debate
I purposely left it off my list
because
because
I was gonna have it
I was convinced you would have it. And I was like, we're gonna have. I don't want to have
the same.
the same list.
Hey, second podcast in, Will, we realize maybe we're
Maybe we're
not
moving-
as alike as we thought we were.
No, it's disgusting, frankly.
We can't do this.
Yeah.
Cut the show. We're
Yeah,
done.
This is it.
it was close to being on a spot. It wouldn't have been number one,
Sure.
but it.
I thought it would be on the list. I didn't necessarily
Yeah.
think it'd be number one. I don't really know how it. Like I
Yeah, but
said,
no, but the Revenge of the Sith is that whole the battle is just going on, and we're just following these two ships
Yeah.
weaving in and out of danger. It's just chaos, and it's just like the first time. I don't know. The first time we're like in the battle more than this wide. It was just cool. Like it was super cool.
It's good.
And as me as a kid seeing that, I was just like, dang, like
Yeah.
there's our heroes. This is cool. Let's go get the Emperor.
Yeah.
I'm in. You just can't beat it to me.
Of course you have a Star Wars.
Of course I do.
Wow.
Now, but historically, the Star Wars openings,
There's a lot of good ones.
there's a lot of good ones.
The very first.
The
Star
very
Wars.
first one is probably the
That's the
most
first one I
iconic.
think of.
Yeah. And I think what Revenge of the Sith did is it took
good.
that concept
Yeah.
and times it by 100.
Yeah.
And that's why it's cooler.
I feel like a lot of them have done similar openings. Like
Yeah.
That. Like you get
Yeah, it's like this battle or
the crawl to the reveal of the giant.
the giant ship that what's going on.
Yeah.
But Revenge of the Sith just chef's kiss. So
That's good. Is there any that you thought would make my list that didn't wind up there?
I thought Raiders was going to be on the list
Yeah, I pulled a fast one on you.
You
Went
did.
Crusade.
just because it's so iconic. But I understand why Crusade is instead of that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't have a list and have two indie movies.
You can't.
Like you can't do that.
You got to pick one.
You got to pick one. And come to think of it,
It's
Temple of
honestly-
Doom, I don't even think it has a.
It is a good opening. It's not my favorite of the series, but
but yeah, not like as
the big like dance production, like
it's fun, but it's
at
not
the club.
It's
yeah.
not the other two.
No.
It's
not
not
iconic.
adventure. It's
Yeah.
It's something else. And again, it's something different.
It's a twist to what you think an indie movie would open with.
Yeah.
You know, like the first one, he's
It's kind of James
Trek-
Bond
trek into-
feeling.
yeah,
And you're just like, what?
yeah, which is weird considering the rest of what Temple is.
Right. Yeah, because then it goes in definitely not James Bond route.
Yeah.
Great list. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to go rewatch
You as
these.
well.
Thank you. These
Yeah.
movies.
Or at least let's watch the openings.
Let's go, we just need to watch the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's all we need.
We did it, Will. Another podcast in.
Another one in the books.
Feel good about it.
Feel okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
We could do better.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for watching, everybody. This was
Yeah.
fun.
Join the discussion. What are your top openings?
Yeah, tell us your top
Where do we
openings.
screw up royally?
How bad were our lists?
Yeah.
Were you appalled by them, or were you
How
like,
dare you question our definitive lists?
yeah, if it's negative, do not leave it.
Yeah.
Only positive. I can't even speak anymore.
Or, interaction is interaction. So,
right. We'll take whatever you
rip us apart.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Until next time, kick your feet up, grab some popcorn, and enjoy the show. I tried something, Will.
That was good.
I don't know if it is. We'll see.